got magic and flair. They got falchions and cunning. They don't see over there. There's a monster incoming. Inspiration is waiting. Rise up, don't think twice. Put your fate in your hands. Take a chance, roll the dice.
I'm Sam Riegel. I am a cast member of Critical Role, and I wrote the theme song for the Legend of Vox Machina animated series.
Actually, the way that happened was me asking Sam, hey, you made that jingle for D&D Beyond that was so incredible. Do you have any other, stuff flying around in your brain? And he sent me back an a cappella version of the song that he recorded one night at 11:30 after his kids went to bed, and it blew my mind.
Okay, here's an idea. Very basic. The beat is like there will be drums. The vocals are something like, the adventure begins. They will always be beside you.
Taking my initial demo and turning it into like a really cool song, which it is. It took a while, actually. We needed real instruments because the first demo was just me singing at an iPhone. So we turned to our friend Jason Charles Miller, who did the original composition of the original theme song.
Well, it's funny because Sam called me and he said, hey, I took your theme and I wrote lyrics to it and I put a melody over top of it. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Let me hear this. And he sent me this tape of him just going like, roll, roll, critical, critical, like just him all a cappella over top of it. But when I heard it, I said, oh, okay, cool. Then we can add this here, and we can do that there, and we can put the original melody back in here. And then we had fun just going back and forth with it.
Then we had even more players play on it. So we got a violinist named COLM McGuinness, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, to do violins for it, and we did some more drum work. We got my brother-in-law, Peter HABIB, of the producing duo Mr. Fantastic. They put in some thumping drums, and we just kept kind of pinging the song around to all of these creators.
And then when it came time to do vocals, we had a bunch of different passes, and we were like, you know what, we really need the ladies on this. It would sound incredible if Ashley and Laura would sing on it.
Travis was the one that actually asked me if I would be down to sing it. And I, of course, was very, very nervous, but it was fun. And I only got a little awkward when I was in the booth, no big deal, because Travis was sitting right there, and I can look like an idiot in front of Sam, but for some reason I get really uncomfortable if Travis is there too.
We sent a feeler out to our fantastic friends over at Outloud Audio. The amazing Mark Kondracki was kind enough to give us some studio time to let us record that, one of the bigger spaces. And I think Ronan was just born, so Laura was in there holding little baby Ronan while she was laying down those sick vocals on the song.
I don't even remember how old he was. I think he was only I want to say 2 months old, maybe, when we were recording it. I think he was younger, and he started crying when we were recording it.
We only had the studio for an hour, and it worked out that Laura had to feed her baby while she was singing the song.
What's weird is I think those were the takes that we ended up using for the song, because for some reason, focusing on that made it way more comfortable to actually do the singing.
I don't know if any suckling sounds made it onto the track. That will be cut. Anyway.
When we were recording it, Sam kept going, more rock and roll, go as over the top as you could think, because I guess I'm used to singing nicer sounding, sweeter sounding, and Sam wanted it I want grit. And any takes we did like that, those are the ones they used. It's fun.
And then when Ashley recorded, she came over to my house, actually, which is a much smaller booth, and she laid down her vocals late at night after she had been doing a video game job all day, I think. She must have been exhausted, but she didn't seem like it because she just killed her side of the vocals as well. And I recorded her, and lickety-split, we were done.
Yeah, Sam, when we were talking about the roles and the criticals, he was like, hey man, I pitched my voice down. You got a deep voice. Do you want to go in and do it? And I was like, no, I love it the way it is. He's like, no, come on, let's really go in there. So my contribution to the piece was actually going into the booth and bouncing as I did it, going, roll, critical, roll. and trying to sound as tough and determined as I could, even though I could see all of their laughing faces as I bounced up and down like a little baby.
I was going for like a little bit of a retro vibe for the lyrics. I knew that one of the motifs we were going to try to do was just sort of like, you know, the chance of it all, like taking a chance, you know, putting the fate in your own hands, like deciding your fate. Like that's a cool element of our game. And Critical Role is just like, you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know where the story's going to lead, so you just kind of have to go for it.
I think the thing that sticks out the most is the roll the dice part of it, because Vex was always one to take chances. I don't know. Daggers and Cunning is pretty freaking cool that we took it there. Just that little change, that made me pretty happy.
I think the lyrics for Your Turn to Roll embody really sort of the spirit of our early home game, which is like a bunch of friends getting together, being nerdy as hell, rolling some dice, not really caring what comes out of your mouth or who's watching or what other people think of you. You know, you're gonna take on brave, courageous personas, try and right wrongs or maybe cause wrongs, depending on what your character is, and just jumping into that adventure and letting yourself go. And when the time comes, roll the dice and see what happens. It's an adventuring party for a reason, right?